The tiny house movement has been growing quickly, which is what brought us to the Tiny House Fest in Vermont. We were there to show off our tiny house on wheels and check out the other tiny homes. There were some tiny house builders who had a few tiny houses for sale. Although they were unfinished, you could get an idea of what the tiny house will look like when it's done. These were 4 of our favorite tiny houses at the Tiny House Fest.
Hi, I'm Aria.
I'm Colby, and this is our bus. This is Dharma. She's a 1975 VW camper. Yeah, so I got her a couple years ago, 2015, and once I bought her, she was not running, just a real hunk of junk, but I gave her a lot of love and fixed her up with my stepdad and did a lot of work on the inside, which I like to show you guys. So we got 2 closets back here. This one is the clothing closet, which is fairly small and holds all our stuff that we have. Right now we're just at this little tiny house festival, so we don't have it packed out the way we would when we were traveling for, during the year. But we were able to fit everything in there totally fine. Granted, 2 pairs of pants, 1 pair of shorts.
And then this closet over here, naturally the VW bus is known for breaking down, and last time we were on a road trip we broke down for a month in Texas. So we need our spare parts suitcase, and also we have our duct tape, our other kinds of tape, and also the Bible of the Volkswagen, the John Muir book of how to maintain your VW and keep it alive. So this was very helpful.
I've heard that's essential if you're going to own a
It
classic
is
bus.
definitely essential. There's so many things to learn and all these different designs of how to fix it yourself, which I think is really cool. This is our bed. It's not this short. We actually have a backrest, which is up here. So we'll put it up here when we're parked, and along with our instruments, which we always carry with us. And there's a yoga mat up there too, and Frisbee is also essential. So this comes down, and we'll put it in this little space that pulls out here. So we'll just fit it in there, and that's how it becomes a full-length bed.
By the way, the passenger seat, very comfy. I like the auto recline function.
Yeah, very high tech.
What's it held together with?
It's held together ratchet straps at this point. Yeah, so this bus did not have the swivel seat passenger chair like it does now, because like you can see the back of the driver's seat over here, there's this metal frame here, and that actually holds the seat up. There's nothing like actually holding the seat together like that. So if you get rid of this backrest, the thing would just flop backwards or flop forward. Which we found out when I cut off the metal piece, the metal backing of the chair there. So the first time I was traveling on the road for about 5 months, I lived out in Boulder, Colorado with my buddy, and we worked in the mountains during the summer as campground hosts. And I used to have like a little herb garden thing back there on the back side of the chair, but it just wasn't, better to have more space than to have a little herb garden and bookshelf.
Nice.
Yeah.
Which we can always do here at some point.
Did you guys build all this stuff out yourselves?
Colby did, yeah.
Yeah, I built it all out. This was really before I knew Aria. I started working on it, and it took me about a year. It took about a year of building and finding all the different little pieces, and because a lot of it is pallet wood, but I did buy stuff when I needed to, like the cedar panels and the siding up here. Even the sidings of all the doors and everything, I made these panels that fit on there and up there. I've had to replace like 4 or 5 of these windows. The windshield is new. That I did not put in because you have to have someone do that professionally.
I love the sink.
Thanks. Yeah, people tend to really like this. And I just got the sink as a gift from someone, so that was really awesome.
Yeah, I guess she owned an antique store or
Yeah.
something before.
She just had it in the basement, and she's like, I've been saving this for years, and I'm glad that you can have it now, you know?
Yeah.
But yeah, it's foot pump activated, so we got like 6-gallon tank in here, which I guess I could open up and show you too. And our compost.
So what was your inspiration behind the design?
I really just loved the cabin look. So that was really it. Trying to see how I could make this little space look like a kind of a rustic camper cabin.
Yeah.
I think I was able to do that. But also the whole like kind of a hippie Indian sort of vibe. You know, like 60s music and stuff like that. So my grandmother helped me make these curtains. They're like Indian sari curtains. Really, it's just like a curtain from Pier 1 Imports that was cut. Well, this is.
I tried to fix that on the way here while he was driving.
Yeah, something always needs to be fixed. So that's one of them.
That's kind of the joy of the bus, right? There's always something to tinker with and
Always something to work on. You're
Yeah.
never bored.
That's for sure.
Hi, my name's Blair and I'm here with Tiny Bus Big Adventure and Wayne the Bus. This is a 1954 Ford Wayne school bus that we found in a junkyard in Colorado, and it was missing the engine and missing a lot of the windows, so we tried to preserve parts of the bus that were still usable and turn the rest of it into our tiny house. Here we have the main living space. My husband, myself, and our 2 dogs live in here full time. We have a queen size bed. Underneath it we have our little dog den and his and her closets. And then in the far back we have extra storage for traveling. Over here we have our sink and fridge and kitchen space. Pantry is underneath the kitchen, and that sits right up over the original wheel wells. Behind this wall over here, we have the bathroom, which it's quite large for a tiny house bathroom, but we wanted to be able to have a little bit of separation between each other. This is a Thetford camping toilet. We are currently saving up for a composting toilet or incinerating toilet, but the Thetford toilet holds about 5 gallons, and you're able to dispose of it like normal human waste in either a dump station or a toilet. My favorite feature is actually the shoe shelf in the front cabinet. So the shoe shelf here is all ends of the trees that are on the property that we currently live on. And when you open it up, it's currently hiding different gadgets and gizmos, but it is our usual shoe shelf. So you come in here, take your shoes off, make yourself at home, and then come all the way inside. Honestly, my favorite thing about the bus is the blue curved roof. A lot of times I'll sit in bed and stick my feet up on the roof. But there's something about the patina mixed with this robin egg blue that just really soothes the soul. When we found it in the junkyard, the driver's window had been shot through with BBs, and we decided that we wanted to keep as much of the original windows as possible because they're magical. Like, you don't ever see this kind of swooping, slightly curved window in any other kind of architecture, so we really wanted to keep it. So one of the funny things in the 1950s is there was still smoking everywhere, so a lot of school bus drivers would smoke cigarettes while they picked up the kids. So the original ashtray and the original glove box. And we like to keep this because it has the serial number from when it was an actual running Ford school bus. And though the company Wayne Works has since gone out of business, you're still able to track Wayne school buses every so often. We're currently reconfiguring our water system. So at the moment we don't have running water, but we do have tanks underneath, and we have solar panels. They're not currently on the top of the bus because we've taken them off. We're building a tiny house as well. So they're going on to our new tiny house.
And this is just the right height to stand in.
Yeah, if you're wearing a cap, the top button of your cap will probably knock the ceiling. But I'm 5'10" and have a pretty okay height.
Well, the nice thing is with the rounded corners, there are no rough edges that you're going to hit yourself.
No, there used to be a lot of people have toured it in our last version of this. We recently reconfigured it. but we used to have the original shelves here, and it just made the whole space feel very small, and you'd always knock your head. So we took those down and are currently figuring out what to do with them.
Well, thank you very much for sharing your home with us.
Thank you so much.
Hey, how's it going? I'm Chris from Tiny Industrial here in Vermont at the Tiny House Fest, and this is what I brought with me. It's called Little Wing. It's a small micro house built on a utility trailer. I left the back porch on here, or basically turned what is normally the ramp to one of these things into a porch. This is built on a 6.5 foot by 10 foot trailer. I try to build these to get people to think a little bit out of the box. Some people look at these and they go, oh, where's the bathroom? Where's the kitchen? And not every structure has to have those necessarily. So let me show you around inside. You'll see what I'm talking about. There's not a lot of houses you'll find that have first-class airplane seats, but this one does. Still got the tray tables. Everything works. And then over here we've got a full-size bed, memory foam mattress, and a rather large TV. So when people ask me, you know, what is this structure intended to do? Oh, and one of my skateboard lamps up here. I like repurposing and upcycling things. When people ask me, what is this kind of structure intended to do? It's whatever you want it to do, right? And that's kind of the mantra that I try to promote. This would be great for Netflix binge watching. I always tell people that. This is a great sort of additional space in somebody's backyard. Could be a guest house, could be a pool house. This would also be a wonderful thing to take to, you know, the local football game and set up the barbecue for tailgating, that type of stuff. So the weight is pretty light. It's right around 1,700 pounds. It can be towed by, you know, your average SUV, Ford Explorer or similar. And pricing on this would be around $15,000. But I like to work with customers in terms of what their specific needs are, and if somebody's interested in having one of these tiny structures, my first question to them is always like, what do you want to use it for? And you know, you ask that question and 100 times and you'll get 100 different answers usually, right? Some people want to travel. Some people want to use it as a vending space at craft shows. Other people, like I said, want sort of a guest space in their backyard, a place for the kids to hang out, and so on and so on. So it's really about what it is that you want and need, and creating that space.